divorce, dating, healthy living, and thriving, of course. It's the Tanya Barnett Show. It's the Tanya Barnett Show.
Hey there, this is Tanya Barnett, the host of the Tanya Barnett Show, where we discuss the unique challenges of the 21st century women. So buckle up and get ready, sister, to get your life right.
It's the Tanya Barnett Show. It's the Tanya Barnett Show. It's the Tanya Barnett Show. It's the Tanya.
Hey everybody, good evening. This is your girl, Tanya Barnett, the host of the Tanya Barnett Show, the flyest internet talk show. I am so super excited about tonight. I have a fantastic guest, and guess what? You will be able to actually call in tonight and ask questions. So the phone number to call in tonight is 202-642-9949. That is 202-642-9949. So go ahead and start calling in. We'll place you on hold, and you'll be able to ask my special guest any question pertaining to the topic tonight. So this is Alopecia Awareness Month. I know last month in September, we talked about Hair Loss Awareness Month. Well, this is actually Alopecia Awareness Month. So I'm really excited about my guest tonight. She is a professional in this area. She will have some answers for you if this is you, if you're dealing with alopecia. Make sure you call in. Make sure you share this out. If you're catching us right now live on listenvisionlive.com, make sure you share this with someone that you love, and let them know that I have a fantastic guest tonight who will be talking about hair loss. And I'm really excited because she has a heart and a passion for this subject matter. She is an expert, and I'm very excited about my special guest. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce her. Her name is Dr. Yolana Lenzy. She is a dermatologist. There she is. Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am excited that you chose to spend your evening with me, because I know you are super busy, but you saw the value in our subject matter tonight, and you're an expert as well as I am. I'm an expert on the other end. And so I just wanted to bring awareness tonight, and I thought what better way to do that in Alopecia Awareness Month than to speak with a hair loss specialist. So thank you so much, Dr. Yolanda, for joining us tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. So can you tell my guests a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Yolana Lenzy, and I'm a board-certified dermatologist. Uniquely, I'm also a licensed cosmetologist, and I trained in cosmetology actually in high school. I'm from there in the DMV area, and I merged the two together. So I specialize now as a dermatologist in hair loss and scalp conditions. I'm the owner of Lenzy Dermatology and Hair Loss Center, which is located up in Chicopee, Massachusetts, which is about an hour and a half from Boston, about 30 minutes from Hartford, Connecticut. So really excited to be here. And I also work with people around the country virtually. So I work with people who are looking for a second opinion. Maybe they don't have access to a dermatology expert who specializes in hair loss in their area. I'm able to help them via technology. So that's really cool as well.
Wow, I think that is fantastic that you have found a need and that you're going virtual. I think that's fantastic because a lot of times we don't find those specialists in our area, and it may be cumbersome to have to drive 4 or 5 miles to see a specialist. Or, we may come across those who don't understand where we're coming from. Or for me, I know when I was diagnosed with alopecia, and I went to an African-American female dermatologist, and immediately off the bat, her thing was creams, pills, shots. And I was like, okay, can I do something in my diet? And she just would not hear it. She was just like, creams, pills, shots. That was her only way to work with me. And so from there, I just was like, I'm not going back. And so I never went back from there. And I just decided to just live boldly and baldly. But had I known someone like you at the time, then I would have, reached out to you and said, hey, Dr. Yolanda, this is what but it's been about 7 years now. So I love what you're doing for women like me. There's so many out there. Every time I post a picture on Facebook or on social media, I'm always getting an inbox from someone saying, hey, I'm bald, I wear a wig, I'm ashamed, I'm scared, no one knows. My husband won't allow me not to wear my wig when we go out. And so I just think it's just really key to have this conversation tonight, especially with someone like you who is in the medical field, who can maybe give some answers to women who are looking for those answers. And I know alopecia does not only affect women, it does affect men too. But because Tanya Barnett Show, we talk about the challenges of the 21st century woman, hair loss is really becoming like this, I don't know, what would you call it at this point?
Well, we're definitely seeing someone like me who specializes in hair loss. I'm kind of seeing it as an epidemic.
Wow.
Especially amongst African American women, there are certain types of hair loss that we're seeing at rates that we did not used to see many years ago. So that's causing us to come to question as to what's different. Whenever we see, increased rates of things, we often have to question, okay, what's happening different than what didn't happen 20, 30 years ago. So we're definitely seeing that. And it's really important for people to realize, Tanya, that there are like 13, 14 different forms of alopecia. So one of the things I talk about on my show, I have a show on Facebook, it's on Lunch and Learn. We talk about the different forms of alopecia. So it's very important for people to actually get a diagnosis. Right. Because some forms are very treatable, the hair can grow back, and some forms are more permanent and scarring, where our treatment goal is more stabilization. And so that distinction is really, really important, because we need to know what we're expecting, right? We need to know, are we expecting the hair to grow back? Are we expecting just to keep the hair loss under control? So that's one of my big things, and that's the reason why I decided to go on social media as a medical professional to really educate the lay public, because as you see on social media, everyone's an expert, right? And people love to self-diagnose, and they love to give people advice, and they don't have much training. And so I think it's important for us physicians to really get on social media, because that's where the people are, and get there and be able to share our expertise and knowledge. So I'm really happy to be able to do this work.
And I think it's fantastic that you're doing that. And it also puts, I know for you, when I interact with you, it makes you human. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you go to the doctor's office, it's like, okay, what's wrong? Let me take your blood pressure. The nurse does all that. And then you go in, you talk, and then you're out the door. But for you, it really is like sitting down and talking to a friend, someone who cares about what's going on with you. And so I applaud you for that, for making yourself available to people, because we just don't get that. It's like, okay, you got 15 minutes. What's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. And I got to see my next patient in 15 minutes. And we just don't get that from you on social media. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things I talk to my husband a lot about is, in medical school, they teach us the science. They teach us how to analyze data. But your personality, that really comes from your family, your upbringing. I say, me growing up in church, I had a very sweet spirit. And so that really comes across in how I interact with my patients. I'm just like a girlfriend, and I'm just here to guide people into, having a higher level of knowledge, and so that they can make the proper decisions. Like you made your decision, we can just make the decisions based on having all of the information. So that's it.
Awesome. So Dr. Yolanda, stay right there. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a really quick break. And we'll be right back at the Tanya Barnett Show. Hang in.
Listen Vision, Listen Vision, DC's #1 recording studio. Listen Vision.
So during the break, we had an opportunity to see Dr. Yolana Lenzy and the call-in number. So if you have a question for her or comment, please feel free to give us a call here at 202-642-9949. That's 202-642-9949. It's right there at the bottom of your screen. So Dr. Yolanda, I have a few more questions for you. You still there?
All right.
Awesome. There she is. So what made you go, okay, you're a dermatologist and you're a licensed cosmetologist. So which came first?
Cosmetology, definitely. Very interesting. Growing up, I always had a knack for doing hair. I used to go to the salon and be very observant. I used to watch the stylists do their work, and I would go home, and then I started shampooing everyone's hair. And my mom said, "Oh my gosh, she's so good at, massaging the scalp and things like that." So, on the weekends, I just started doing my mom and my sister's hair. And then my high school, which was Laurel High School there in Prince George's County.
Yes.
They offered the vocational education track as well as the college preparatory track. So I had to petition to be the first student to do both tracks.
Wow.
You either do VOTEC or you do the college prep. And I said, well, why can't I do both? So I was a great student in my, previous years. So they couldn't find a reason why I could not do it. So I took up cosmetology. It was a great experience. I was not only just training in cosmetology, I was very much involved with one of the student organizations for students involved with vocational education, and I went further along in that. I became one of the national vice presidents of that organization.
Wow.
And that's how I really got my start in leadership development, entrepreneurship, things like that. So it's amazing how I say God puts us on different paths. And
right.
Everything that we do, it kind of leads towards what we ultimately end up doing. And so when I went to college at American University there in DC, I set up a little salon in my college dorm room. I mean, I did fillers, pets, and relaxers, and haircuts back in the 90s. And it was a great, great service for the students. They didn't have to go off campus. I could just take care of right in my room. So we did that. Then I went to medical school in Baltimore at the University of Maryland. And that's when I started preparing for dermatology by doing rotations, doing research with different dermatologists. And so that's how that trajectory, happened. And it's just, to my knowledge, I'm the only dermatologist who's also a licensed cosmetologist.
Wow.
And it really helps. Yeah, really having that background in products, knowing ingredients, that really helps me to, because my patients come to me not just for the medical advice, but they want to know, what shampoos do you like, Dr. Yolanda? What conditioners?
Oh, wow. Okay.
What products? So I'm able to, I don't do hair anymore, but I'll say, like I saw a lady today who I diagnosed with scar and alopecia, but she also had a lot of breakage. So she was using heat like 2 or 3 times a week. So our hair listening probably know that's a no-no. So I said, well, listen, I want you to stop the direct heat. And I was able to walk her through, like, look at twist outs, look at doing a coil set, different things like that.
Right.
That patients appreciate that. I have that level of knowledge that they can, not just get the medical attention, but they can also get like some styling help as well.
Right. So what made you decide to specialize in hair loss? Because I don't know too many people. I know, like I said, the dermatologist I went to, she was a dermatologist, but hair loss wasn't even her thing. It was just, okay, take this medication and see you in 3 weeks for some blood work. But, you're the first doctor that I know that specializes in hair loss. So what made you decide to, make that a focal point, so to speak?
Actually, another cool story. Actually, my mom was diagnosed with scar and alopecia back in 1985. And so at that time, I was in elementary school, and I just saw that she had this circular size bald spot in the top of her head. And then over the years, it kept getting bigger and bigger. And she went to a dermatologist. They gave her a diagnosis, and they gave her an oil, and that was it. And really, I got a chance to see how destructive this process was.
Wow.
With her not getting the proper treatment. I say proper now. At the time, I didn't know because I was a little girl. But being able to see now that, wow, my mom wasn't properly treated. And so 30 years later, Tanya, she's now left with 75% of her hair gone, permanent scarring alopecia.
Wow.
And so it's been a passion for me. While I couldn't help my mom because I was a little girl then, you know, she's really excited to see me be able to help women save their follicles.
Right.
And so she's like, well, she said, Yolanda, just tell the people, you know, to listen and follow the treatment, because she didn't really realize back then that, you know, she would, after all this time, lose her hair. Now, she has a different form of hair loss than you have.
Mm-hmm.
The scarring alopecia, you know, much different. They can be very inflammatory, itchy, things like that. So that's why my passion is, I always say, get a diagnosis, get an accurate diagnosis so you know what you're dealing with.
Right, right. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to ask you, because you talked about scarring alopecia and things of that nature. So I'm going to ask you a controversial question.
Okay.
And I know a lot of women who may be watching right now are addicted to something called the creamy, they call it the creamy crack.
Yeah.
So do you, in your professional opinion, do you think having done years of perming our hair, I remember getting my first relaxer, I think I was in middle school. I begged my mother. I was getting my hair pressed prior to that. So you're talking about early 80s. I think I got my first perm around 83, 84. So do you think years and years and years doing that every single month, do you think that contributes to the alopecia epidemic?
In some forms, it can.
Okay.
You know, that's a really interesting question that our current research is looking at. The reason why it's complicated, Tanya, is because the data shows that 80 to 90% of African American women have relaxed their hair at some point in time, right? But yet a lower percentage of women develop hair loss. So maybe like 10 to 15%.
Okay.
So we know that the relaxers are not directly causative, because if they were, more would have, you know, the different forms of alopecia. But I always say it's multifactorial. So I think that you could have a genetic predisposition like I do, right? My mom, my sisters have scarring alopecia. Then you go on top and do certain hair care practices. I think that can cause it to flip on. Okay. So we're still testing out that theory. So I always, you know, that's the reason why I always say, when in doubt, leave it out. Right. If you know, so it just because it's possible that relaxers can play a role, I think it's a good idea, if possible. And I'm not the relaxer, police. I encourage people that, I'm natural. You can achieve straight styles being natural. You can achieve, so much versatility. So I just say, when in doubt, because it is in doubt still, we're still doing the research, it's best to leave it out if possible. But, some of my patients say they went to go to dermatologists and all they say is, don't perm your hair, don't do this. But you have to give people, empower them with options that they can.
Great.
That's why I'm really passionate about teaching my colleagues. Many of them are not African American, about African American hair. So at the American Academy of Dermatology, I'm one of the national trainers, and I lead a session on African American hair, and I teach them about twist outs and braids and locks and all the different things that we do, because cultural competency in medicine is so important. The studies show that patients feel more comfortable with the physician, one who looks like them, but sometimes you might not be able to have someone who looks like you. So it's important for physicians to know about different cultural practices.
Right.
So that's what I'm really all about.
Wow. Y'all, we are getting some meat here tonight. Make sure you share this out. Make sure you let people know about Dr. Yolanda. Even from me posting your picture all on social media, I've had so many people hit me up in the DM just saying, hey, Tanya, this is me. Where people have shared your graphic over and over again, and people are reaching out to me and saying, this is me, this is me, this is me. And so this is something that we need. Dr. Yolanda, we need you. You were put here for such a time as this. And I just know that, God really placed you in my life to allow my platform, and then also your lunch and learn and the other things you're doing. So I just think it's fantastic. During the break, we're going to run a couple of your. You have an academy, and we're going to run a couple of things. So I'm gonna ask you some questions about that right after this break. Thank you for joining the Tanya Barnett Show.
All right.
Listen vision, listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio.
Hey there, family. This is Tanya Barnett, the host of the Tanya Barnett Show, the flyest internet talk show. In all of my exuberance of having Dr. Yolanda on with me, I totally forgot about She's Gotta Have It. You all know that this is my favorite segment. I love my guests, but this is my favorite segment where I get to feature and highlight African-American businesses that I gotta have during She's Gotta Have It. So I want to share this necklace with you. I actually got this 2 days ago from my hairstylist and my jewelry maker. Yes, I have a personal jewelry maker. Her name is Keisha Hunt. And so this necklace right here, Keisha made, and as well as the bracelets. And so her company is called KK Jewels. And so make sure you check her out, KK Jewels. She's on Instagram. She does what I call 3 pieces, where you get the necklace, the earrings, and the bracelet. Sometimes she has 2 pieces as well. And actually, I'm going to be wearing a set of her jewelry next week at the Boss Network event here in Baltimore. So I'm really excited about that. So make sure you check out Keisha Hunt of KK Jewels. She is on Instagram. Check her out. But without further ado, I'm going to bring back Dr. Yolanda. I did not want to forget to do my She's Gotta Have It, because that is my favorite part of this show, making sure I shout out and show my black businesses that I always gotta have. She's gotta have it. So Dr. Yolanda, you still there?
Yes. Hello.
Hey, welcome back. So yes, can you tell my guests a little bit about your academy and some of the other things that you have going on?
Absolutely. So, Tanya, I created a way that hairstylists could really get additional training, because as we've established, many times, many people don't realize that it's important to come in to the dermatologist, to get an early diagnosis. But I always say that hairstylists are really the front line, because hairstylists are going to see the early spots forming, right? The little bald spots, the thinning. And so my goal was to make sure that hairstylists were better trained and equipped in order to be able to pick up the early signs of hair loss in their clients. And so when I was a first-year resident at Boston University, I was going to a salon called the Monica Todd Salon, and they used to ask me a ton of questions about, Dr. Yolanda, can you come look at this person's scalp? And I was supposed to be there, but I would be put to work. And so I said, I got an idea. So I said, you know what? Let me put together a presentation. I want you all to invite your stylist friends, and I'm going to do some teaching. So I did that. And I did that in Boston for a number of years. And then people started contacting me saying that, Dr. Yolanda, I would love to work with you, but I'm in New York, or I'm in LA, or I'm in Chicago. So I made this academy virtual. So I created what I call the Getting to the Root Hair Loss Academy. So we are about to celebrate 1 year. We launched it first time. October of 2016. We had our first 5 students who went through the academy. And now they're all doing amazing things. Several of them are doing their own research studies. So I'm
Wow. These are stylists you're talking about?
yes, stylists.
Wow.
Research. One of my stylists, Abana Palmore, she's now studying vitamins and what role they play in hair growth, because I'm teaching. I like to teach the stylists and people who watch my show Lunch and Learn what we know and what we still don't know. And I say the only way for us to know is to do research, right?
Right.
And so some of them are doing studies now. One of them is studying essential oils and what role they can play. So I'm really passionate about, your experience when you said the dermatologists only offer you creams, shots, and pills. I want to look at some of these other things, like what role does food play? What role do oils play, and things like that. So that's what we teach. And then getting to the Root Hair Loss Academy, I go in depth with these stylists about the 14 major forms of hair loss. And it's a 12-week program. It's can be done anywhere in the country or in the world, and there are live Q&A calls with me, so they get a chance to go through the information. Then we have Q&A calls, and something we're adding this year, Tanya, is they're going to be able to do a one-day clinical training with me in my office in Massachusetts.
Wow, I love it.
Excited. So they'll get a chance to come into the office and put it all together. And so I believe in what I like to call the hair loss team. So you need your stylist and you need your doctor, because there are certain things that the stylist can't do. And as the doctor, there's certain things I'm not going to do. I'm not going to style their hair and things like that. So I say you need a team, and we all need to be on the same page so that they're not doing something against what I'm trying to do. And, so we all on the same page. So that's why I think all stylists who are committed to self-investment in their education should invest in something like this to really be able to better serve their clients. Because like I say, you guys, the stylists, are the front line. Many people don't even know about a Dr. Yolanda or a dermatologist, but they know they're stylists.
Right.
And so I've been able to show in our research that that patients who come to us who are referred by their stylist, Tanya, they present in a much earlier stage than people who come in on their own from their doctor. Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
So that's the power of, I believe in the model, teach the teacher. Because as Dr. Yolanda, I can only see a certain number of patients. But if I can educate an army of stylists across the country who know the proper tools, know the tricks to look for, then we can get people in much earlier. And so, my students who graduated, and they've been able to elevate their revenue because now they're able to offer different things in a salon. So it's a win-win, So when you invest in yourself, as you know, in the work you do as an entrepreneur, we have to invest in ourselves.
Right.
Myself personally, I invest in myself about $10,000 every year between going to dermatology conferences, going to business conferences, all of that. And that's what helps me to stay at the top of my field. And so the Getting to the Root Hair Loss Academy Cycle 4 is starting next month. It's starting the end of October. So we're super excited about this, and I will be definitely promoting it more over the next month. So so people are interested in that. They can definitely set up a Q&A call with me. You can go to the website and check out the site, which is gettingtotherootbook.com. Which is gettingtotherootbook.com. And if you want to set up a Q&A call for me, I set up some slots in my schedule so that, because it is an investment. If you have questions, you can definitely talk to me. And that's bit.ly/chat with Dr. Yolanda, all lowercase.
Awesome. That is fantastic. Look, I'm nominating you for Black Girls Rock next year, okay? You get my nomination goes to Dr. Yolanda. I'm telling you. I mean, because think about it. You are not okay, so you're a dermatologist, you're a hair loss specialist, you're a cosmetologist, but you're also empowering other cosmetologists, like you said, so that they can increase their revenue. Not only that, they're arming them with this information then helps them to help women not have to go through the emotional toll of hair loss or catching it early. And so it's a win-win not only for them, but then also for their families, for their self-esteem. I mean, it's a long-reaching thing. When a woman is going through hair loss like I did, the first thing I thought about was my husband. Would my husband find me attractive? Would he find me feminine? Would he see me as being sexy? Then it was my children. Oh my gosh, what if my children are teased? And, all those things. Then when I'm out with my girlfriends, would people look at us weird because I don't have hair? And so, even going on job interviews, I would be stressed out because I'm like, what are they going to think? Are they going to think I have cancer? All those things would go through my mind going anywhere knowing that I'm bald. And so the fact that you are arming these cosmetologists with information, it is just, it will change the trajectory of women and hair loss in this whole entire country. So I'm excited about it. You get my nomination. I'm going to let them know y'all need Dr. Yolanda there next year. Okay. I'm just saying.
All right.
Awesome. And so Dr. Yolanda, now I'm going to turn it to you. How do you find time for self-care? Because you're doing all this for everybody else. How do you find time for yourself as an entrepreneur?
Oh, that's a great question. So I started my own practice 3 years ago because I really wanted to have freedom, right? I wanted to have freedom in the way I practice, freedom in how much time I could spend with my patients, and also freedom in how much I worked. And I was always of the thing, like when I'm at work, and I go hard at work. But when I'm not at work, I'm not at work, and I'm not trying to work. So I think that balance is really, really important for me. I recently cut my schedule last year. So I used to go in 5 days a week. Now I go in 4 days a week. And on Fridays, I do a lot of my self-care things.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's important. I try to get a massage, very often. I get my hair done every week. That's just, and I love my hairstylist, and we're like great friends, and that's just, and I go at the end of the evening, so we have the whole salon to ourselves. So that's part of my self-care, and we have a good time chatting, laughing, because a woman's relationship with her hairstylist is very special.
Right.
Also, vacations are very important. I just came back from 2 weeks in Paris and Puerto Rico.
Nice.
Yeah, so we celebrate my 10th wedding anniversary. So those are things that are important in my self-care. Definitely reading in the morning, exercising. So what I like to do every morning, I either get on my machine or walk. And when I'm on my machine, I like to read or listen to audiobooks. I try to, all of those things, I believe we have to feed our spirits. The Bible says we have to think on whatever things are good and lovely and of good report. I don't like to listen to bad news and negativity. So I try to limit my social media. I'm on social media really promoting my business and things, but I try not to get all caught up in all that negativity going on, because I think that can be toxic to our spirit. So I just try to, surround myself with people who inspire me, and all of that goes into my self-care. But really just, and sleep. Oh my goodness. In the entrepreneur journey, I posted something the other day that people always saying, #team no sleep.
I know.
No, sleep is a very important thing. God himself rested, right, on that seventh day. And, there's been a lot of data. I'm a scientist. So I love quoting data. There's been a lot of data that our brains really reset and deepen our memory. Like when we're trying to study, if you're in school and you're studying for an exam and you don't sleep, you won't retain as much information as if you get a good night's rest. So I'm all about my sleep. Dr. Yolanda, as soon as I get off here, I'm about to go brush my teeth, put my hair, because I'm in bed by like 9:30, but I wake up very early because I'm at my peak earlier in the day. So when I come home, I left it all there, and so I'm a little bit tired. Just about 9:30. Yeah, I'm about to be getting in bed. And so I wake up like 4:35. I may not get out of bed, but I pray and meditate and all of that. So I think we have to figure out when we're at our peak and situate our day around so that we can do that. So I'm working on my book now, my editing. So I have to do that when my brain is fresh. So I just came home from work. Why would I sit down and try to do edits down? That I'm gonna be like, no. Did it, first thing in the morning, I'm fresh, I'm ready to go. So all of that goes into my self-care. It took me figuring out myself, learning myself. and learning what makes me tick. When am I at my best? And when do I need to rest? So yeah, so it's simple stuff, and eating good too. Eating right is always helps. Yes.
Awesome. And self-care is something that I promote a lot. I know for me, I'm up and I'm at the gym at 6 a.m., hitting it hard. I started back weights today, so everything is sore right now. My arms, my abs, everything, even the laugh hurts. But definitely that self-care, eating right, getting the sleep. A lot of people know our long-term substitute. So now the school is back in session. I know I've been in bed by like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm exhausted. You know, teaching our future is draining. Children today are totally different. So, you know, you got to be on your P's and Q's and think quick. But yeah, definitely that self-care is really, really important. And so I'm so glad that you're an advocate of it. You talked about the importance of prayer, reading, positivity, not getting caught up in all the negativity, even with, you know, everything that's going on in the world right now. You know, I choose to focus on the positive things, the positive stories, great things, celebrating people like you and so many other amazing women who are doing fantastic things. So we're going to take a break at this moment. When we come back, Dr. Yolanda is going to tell us how we can reach out to her and get in contact with her. And we're also taking calls at 202-642-9949. See you in a second.
One recording studio. Oh.
Hey everybody, this is Tanya Barnett, the host of the Tanya Barnett Show. Thank you so much for holding tight. I am back with Dr. Yolanda. Just like you saw on the break, she has her Getting to the Root Academy. Make sure you share that with your cosmetologist or any friends that you have that are dealing with hair loss. This is a opportunity for those cosmetologists to be educated on the 4 different types of hair loss, as well as have an opportunity to go and work with Dr. Yolanda right there in her practice. So I think this is a fantastic opportunity to educate not only yourselves, but your cosmetologist as well. So Dr. Yolanda, I thank you so much for being with me tonight. You are a fantastic woman. You inspire me. I love what you're doing, not only because I've lived with hair loss, but also just because it empowers women to take back their self-esteem and their self-worth and their value, and let them know that hair loss is not, you know, you're not losing anything. I know it's painful. I grieved my hair for a lot of years. I hid it. I didn't let people know. I just stopped let people think I was bald by choice. And so even, I mean, every now and again, I have a moment where I break down when I'm thinking about something or whatever, and, you know, I have to get myself back up and say, okay, Tanya, let's go. You know, I know for me, God has used it as a gift to draw women to me and to be able to bless women. So I thank you for what you're doing. So how can people reach out to you?
Absolutely. So I just wanted to mention one quick thing, Tanya, before I give, because you mentioned people sharing about the academy. I do have a referral affiliate program.
Okay.
So if you know a stylist and you tell them about the academy and they enroll, we pay you guys a nice little commission, which is $500. Yeah.
How much?
$500.
Woo! Okay, all my hair, Dion, I'm gonna start calling y'all out now. Make sure you register.
That part a little bit, because I'm really passionate about the word out to people. And you know, those of us who are entrepreneurs, we spend a good amount of money on Facebook ads and things like that.
Yes.
If someone tells someone about me and they enroll, I would like to share, you know, the success with you. So I really, really appreciate people telling people about me, and about the work that we're doing. So if someone gives your name as the referral source, we will contact you and get your PayPal, and you'll that PayPal bling going.
I'm about to hit up all my stylist friends DMs tonight, okay? My baby about to go to college. I need to pay for some books.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So, and if a stylist, tell some of their other stylist friends, it could help to decrease the amount of the investment for you.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a win-win-win. I believe in sharing good things with other people. Yeah, so guys, I wanted to just let you guys know you can definitely follow me on all social media at Dr. Yolanda Lenzy, and that's just DR and then Yolanda, which is YOLANDALENZY. Everywhere I'm on Facebook, Periscope, and Instagram, and Pinterest. Those are my main social media platforms that I use. And Tanya, I have a free gift that I wanted to give your listeners.
Yay!
Yeah, you mentioned something earlier just about could your diet possibly play a role? Didn't you say that?
Yes. Yeah, I asked the dermatologist about that, and she had nothing to give me.
Okay, so one of the things that we in entrepreneurship, they say your potential customers tell you what they need, right? They help you create your product. So I started doing a lot more research because I was getting that question asked all the time. So I actually created a series that I want to gift your audience, a video series called 8 Foods to Include for Healthy Hair.
Wow.
So, for healthy hair, you can definitely check that out by all you have to do is just join my email list and you will get that free email series. And I also created a new ebook called Dr. Lenzy's Hair Diet. So that is also available after you do the series. So wanted to put that out there for your listeners. You can go over to my website. Actually, did I create a link for that? You can go to my website, opt in, and you'll be able to get it, which is lenzyderm.com, 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 and you can, get that 8 foods to include for healthy hair. You'll learn a lot about, because I believe that instead of reaching for a pill bottle to take vitamins, if we get our nutrients through our foods, they're better. They have better bioavailability,
right,
which means they're absorbed better. So instead of going down to GNC, nothing against them and other places, but if you could just go to Whole Foods or go to Trader Joe's and get these things that I mentioned in the series and in the ebook, you will get a bigger bang for your buck, if you will. So. Right. I'm a big advocate of Whole Foods, not Whole Foods the store, but just eating clean and, trying to eat close to the way that God made these foods, because they definitely have, I think, medicinal effects. So so I think, it's really, if you're dealing with different forms of hair loss, make sure you're being healthy, make sure you're exercising, make sure you're eating well, make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Because I always say, hey, they might not help, but at least they won't hurt you, right?
Right,
so
right.
It will help you lose a few pounds, and they will also help you have clear skin. So it's always good to, try to look at the natural approaches. And I prescribe medications, don't get me wrong, but I believe what can we do naturally as well. So
wow, that is so key. I remember when my daughter was an infant, she's 25 now, and the pediatrician, my mother's like, you need to get the pediatrician write you prescription for vitamins. And I went to the pediatrician. They were like, ma'am, all you have to do is blend up the carrots, put the carrots in the blender, put the broccoli in the blender. He was like, your baby does not need vitamins. Just blend that stuff up, add some water to it, and give it to her that way. And so that was the first time I heard a doctor even talk about feeding your baby to get their vitamins. So this is so key. Thank you so much, Dr. Yolanda, for being my guest tonight. It has been amazing. I just applaud you so much for what you're doing for women in our community, the African American community, as far as hair loss. You being on the board as for the dermatology. I just think everything you're doing is just amazing. We just do not see and celebrate enough people like you, and so I just want to celebrate you tonight. let you know that you are appreciated, that your labor is not in vain, and that I am just so, so, so honored to know you.
Oh, that was so sweet. Thank you so much. I don't know if you all watching saw Miss Tanya Barnett's newest pictures, but oh, they are fire, and I just applaud you for like I say, like you mentioned, I think the things that happen to us, they are an opportunity, to really be a blessing. And so the fact that you're getting so many DMs from people, you are called for such a time as this to really be a light and let people know it's not the end of the world, right? It's
Right.
there. And you can use these things that happen to push you through your purpose. And so I applaud you for what you're
Oh,
doing, how you represent us so well. And so kudos to you.
thank you, sis. Thank you so much. So, guys, make sure you check out Dr. Yolanda. Make sure you go to her website, lindsayderm.com. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep,
Okay,
lindsayderm.com.
lindsayderm.com. She has a free ebook for you, a free video series for you, and just make sure you check her out. And those cosmetologists, if you have all of y'all getting your hair done somewhere, unless you bald like me. But majority of you getting your hair done somewhere, let your cosmetologist know that they can check out Dr. Yolanda. They can be educated so that they can help other women identify the 14 forms of hair loss, and become more educated so that they can help other women who maybe they can help stop it early enough so that it doesn't become full-blown, kind of like your mom. It happened for her, and for myself as well. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much again, and we will chit chat on the other side.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone.
All righty. Thank you. And so after this break, guys, we will be back, and I will tell you about some upcoming events. This is Tanya Barnett with the Tanya Barnett Show.
Listen Vision, Listen Vision, DC's #1 recording studio. Listen Vision, Listen Vision.
Hey everybody, this is Tanya Barnett, the host of the Tanya Barnett Show, the flyest internet talk show. I am so super excited. I have a couple of events coming up. Actually, tomorrow, that last graphic that you just saw was a Twitter chat that is tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Central Time, with Kamika Smith of the Boss Network. And these are the women from the Baltimore Ladies That Lead Tour. I will be there in the house next week in Baltimore, so I will see you all there. And Kamika has some fantastic speakers at this event. If you've never been to a Ladies That Lead Tour, make sure you check me out. Come on up to Baltimore. I would love to hug your neck. They were in Houston and LA. They were out there in LA not too long ago. So make sure you check us out. That is a Twitter chat tomorrow, right on, that's the Boss Network. So make sure you check us out there. Also, I'll be speaking at Blogalicious in a couple of weeks in Miami. So I'm really excited about speaking at Blogalicious. And I'll be teaching a workshop on how to use Facebook Live to grow your tribe. So make sure you check me out at Blogalicious in Miami. And then I'm also, the day after, I'll be here in DC at the Ladies in the Industry conference. We have R&B singers. We have television stars that'll be there, and I'll also be doing a panel. I'll be on a panel there. My panel is dating. How do you date if you are a person who's in the spotlight? How do you date? How do you know he's the right one for you? So make sure you check me out there. And then I also have I'll be at the Learn and Grow conference with Martine Foreman and some other fantastic women. So I have a lot of engagements coming up. Hats and Pearls, that'll be in Raleigh that same weekend. So I have 3 events in one weekend. So I'll be in Miami on Friday, DC on Saturday, and Raleigh on Sunday. So make sure you check me out. I'm Tanya Barnett, also your real wife coach. Go to my website, realwifemovement.com, where we talk about all things about love, sex, and marriage. And I'm really excited about the upcoming events. I'm Tanya Barnett. Next week's guest is none other than Gwen Jameer. She is the first woman to get a patent on natural hair care products. She's been in 4 Black Enterprise, various magazines where they've talked about her and her patents for natural hair care products. So I have Gwen Jameer. She'll be my guest next week, and she is the founder of Naturalicious. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm Tanya Barnett of The Tanya Barnett Show. See you next week.
It's the Tanya Barnett Show.